South Australia is changing its export model to flexible exports. The old model of exports, and we're talking about the surplus solar once your house has used up as much power as it wants to, the extra solar that's going into the grid. The current rule is 5 kilowatts per phase of power connected to your home. You can send that extra power to the grid as long as you're not using it. The issue that we have here in South Australia, where we have such a high uptake of solar, is that sometimes the grid has too much power in it. It's really hard to keep it stable, and it can actually put us in the position where we are likely or actually going to go into a blackout. So South Australia has had the smarter home regulation since 2020, and now we're bringing in flexible exports, which is to suit a similar purpose but a little bit different. Smarter homes means that where there's too much power in the grid, systems will be shut off or set to zero export. The next evolution of this is flexible exports. So this means that your export limit is going to be between 1.5 and 10 kilowatts per phase. So single phase 1.5 to 10, three phase 4.5 to 30 kilowatts of export. If you're in a flexible export suburb or soon to be all of the state, when the demand is low and the supply is high is where we're most likely to have your export ramped back, and it's going to be very localized. So some areas will find they're throttled a bit more than others, and it really will depend on what day of the week it is. So you're most likely to be ramped back when it's a really nice day, very sunny, lots of surplus solar, probably in the middle of the day and probably in the weekdays where people aren't really home, aren't really using their own power, and it's all going into the grid. Again, these systems are really smart. They're never going to work harder than they need to, so they're just going to bring themselves down to whatever your house needs plus as much as they're allowed to send to the grid. So what does this mean for you? How is this actually going to affect you? This way we'll have less blackouts. You'll still be able to take care of your home's needs. There'll be some times where you export a little bit less, but we probably avoid a blackout. And there'll be some times that you export even more than you could before.